Physical media man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another Physical Media Man Monday video. I have part 2 of the random movie reviews, and hopefully this will be the last of the random ones, and I'll be back on a monthly basis. Before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my website where you can get merch, my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man store Instagram page, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man store, my Facebook page for non-media related items, the Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, and my Letterboxd account. So yeah, I just got a bunch more random reviews. They'll probably all be somewhat quick, and so here we go. First up, I revisited Little Big League. This is the Shout Select edition, and there was also a new interview with the main actor, which we started and I need to finish. But this one I didn't watch growing up. First time I watched it was in college. I liked it then, and I really liked it again this time too. So this kid is like in grade school, and his grandpa owns the Minnesota Twins, and they have a really strong bond with baseball, and the kid knows a ton, and the grandpa passes away, and the kid owns the team and ends up becoming the manager of the team, and it just follows that story, and it's just quite a bit of fun. Good acting, good supporting cast. Nobody that's like really famous, but they all do a really good job, and I definitely recommend that one if you haven't seen it, especially if you like sports movies. Alright, so next up we watched Bringing Up Baby, the Criterion edition with Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. I like this one quite a bit. It is in black and white. My wife didn't like it as much as I did, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. There's some laughs, and Katharine Hepburn's always bugging Cary Grant, who's about to get married, and he works at a museum, and he's trying to get this $1 million endowment from from Katharine Hepburn's character, and he doesn't realize it's her or she has anything to do with it. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a B+, and it's definitely staying in the collection. Next up, we watched Wonder Woman 1984. If this wasn't a comic book movie or something that I really felt like I needed to keep in the collection, I'd definitely be getting rid of it. This is somewhat sequel to Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot and also Chris Pine, and set in 1984. And I think one of the main issues with this film was that they didn't. It has 1984 in the title, and they didn't take advantage of that time period. Hardly any music in the film, with 80s music being very good. There is a scene in the shopping mall. That's about it, and that's probably the best scene in the film. I just think they really dropped the ball on this one. Not good at all. Also, there's a couple villains in the film, and one of the villains is already a villain in the film and changes and becomes even more of a villain, which didn't really seem necessary, and just I hated it, giving it an F. Just so bad. Next up, we watched The Illusionist with Edward Norton, Paul Giamatti, and Jessica Biel. Edward Norton is a magician, and he was kind of poor-ish growing up, and Jessica Biel is like living in a castle and a princess and stuff, and they had feelings for each other, but Jessica Biel's character, her parents didn't want her to be around him, so he's been gone for a long time, and comes back as this famous magician. And he kind of, I don't know, I don't want to ruin anything, but so he comes back, and some crazy things happen, and this one's really good. I definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen it, giving it an A-. All right, next up we got Demolition with Jake Gyllenhaal and Naomi Watts. Gyllenhaal is a successful investment banker, and he kind of goes nuts when he loses his wife in a car accident. He just kind of goes off the deep end, and he's kind of working for his father-in-law. And Naomi Watts is a struggling single mother, and she comes into the picture, and don't want to ruin anything from there. Thought it was pretty decent. I'll give it a B. Next up, we watched Matilda. I think I had watched this one growing up, but don't really remember too much of it. I mean, some of it came back while watching it. It's just such a good film, though. Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman are the parents of Matilda. Danny DeVito's character is like a con man, car salesman, not a good person. Neither's the mom. They don't care about Matilda. She only wants to read books and learn, and she's really smart. So she gets sent to this little girls' school, or evil school, basically, boarding school type of thing. And the school principal's crazy and really strict, and just a really great character. Like, so many great characters in this film. And her teacher wants her to, she realizes how smart and things that Matilda is, and just a really great film. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend that one, and I'm going to give it an A. Next up, we got Bad Education with Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney. This is based on a true story of a principal of a school and someone else that's involved in the school, kind of taking money from the school, and just a really interesting story, really well done. Crazy it's based on a true story, and how much money they had taken from the school and the things that they were doing and whatnot, and kind of how they got caught and everything like that. Just so well done. Definitely recommend that one too. Give it a B+. Next up, we watched both Charlie's Angels movies, kind of based on the TV show and whatnot. The first one I enjoyed quite a bit more. I would give it a B and give the sequel a C+. I think the casting's pretty good. All the characters were good choices and everything like that. But the villain and the story of the first one, as well as some of the characters not being in the second one, kind of made the first one quite a bit better. So yeah, and so much better than the newer version that they made. Next up, we watched She's the Man with Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum. This one was alright. Amanda Bynes plays a star women's soccer player, and something happens where they kind of lose their team, or they are not being able to have a team this year. And her brother is in England or overseas or doing something, so she comes up with a plan of acting like she's a boy to play on the men's team. And Channing Tatum's on the men's team as well, and things happen from there. So yeah, it was all right. I didn't mind it. I'll give it a C+. I did think the soccer scenes are so bad, and it's just really badly shot, and doesn't seem over realistic. It's just, and the way it's shot, it just makes it hard to watch. The soccer scenes are so hard to watch. So yeah. Next up, we watched Chuck, which kind of is the basis of, it was the inspiration of Rocky, and this fighter that got Muhammad Ali to fall down. Yeah, Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder. So yeah, that's like how he kind of got famous. He was just an okay boxer, and he just kind of lives in the past, and addiction kind of gets to him, and he has other demons and stuff. But I thought Liev Schreiber did a really good job playing the character. It was a good movie, but I don't know if I would say I really overly enjoyed it, just because he's just not a very good person, and I just thought the film was maybe going to be a little more interesting. I don't know, but yeah, definitely worth checking out if you were really into the Rocky story and into boxing and true life stories. But I didn't overly like it, so I'll just give it a C. Next up, we watched Goldfinger, which was one of my favorite James Bond films. I think we watched this around the time Sean Connery passed, maybe. But this one's so good. Obviously, a James Bond movie. The villain is one of the best. And just, yeah, if you haven't seen this, it's so good. Giving it an A+. Alright, now we just got a smaller stack here, and I'll finish up. Alright, so next up we watched Runaway Bride with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. Richard Gere is a newspaper columnist, and he stumbled upon the story of this bride that runs away and has run away from multiple weddings, I think. And so he goes to this town to see what the story is, and yeah, won't say anything other than that. But I feel like, I don't know, to me, Richard Gere is kind of hit or miss. I thought he was good in this. I like Julia Roberts. She usually always does a great job, and this is a good romantic comedy type of film. I'll give it a C+. Next up, we watched Night Shift, which was awesome. This just got a Warner Archive release not too long ago, so I'll have to pick this up. But it stars Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton, one of Michael Keaton's earliest roles, and he is awesome in this. So they work in a morgue, and he comes with the idea of using the hearse or the morgue vehicle for some other activities, as well as the morgue itself. They're working in the night shift of it, and some crazy things transpire, and it's just a lot of fun. Definitely recommend this one too if you haven't seen it. I'll give it an A. Next up, we watched Upgrade. So this guy has his wife killed during a brutal mugging that also leaves him paralyzed, and there's this billionaire that has this technology that's able to make him almost like a Robocop, or even stronger, but look like a normal person, just because he's just paralyzed, not as bad as what Robocop was or anything. So he kind of tries to get revenge, and this one's pretty good. It kind of has like a Blade Runner type of feel, not as deep or anything like that, but it kind of is shot like that and has similarities there. But yeah, I like this one quite a bit. Give it a B. Next up, we watched Warren Beatty and Dick Tracy. Also has Al Pacino. Yeah, this one was good. Madonna's in it as well. So when gang lord Big Boy Caprice unites the town's racketeers and gangsters, police detective Dick Tracy devotes his career to foiling the entire bunch of bad guys. So yeah, this was quite a bit of fun. I'll give it a B. Next up, we watched Major League with Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Corbin Burnson. One of my favorite baseball movies. I feel like baseball has the most good films. I don't know exactly why that is, but I really believe that, and this one is great. The cast is great. So the owner of the Cleveland Indians she wants to move the franchise to Miami. So she just basically puts together this ragtag group of baseball players that shouldn't have any chance at competing, and just the characters are so good and the story is great and just so much fun. I'll give this one an A-. Definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it. Next up, we watched Jaws. If you haven't seen Jaws, I'd be surprised. But it follows Roy Scheider, and he is the new sheriff, I believe, in this town. And there's a shark attack, and it's their big time of the year because they have so many tourists come in to go to the ocean and all that, and they try to stop the shark, and it's just such a good film. And this 4K is awesome. Definitely recommend getting that if you haven't yet picked this up. A+, such a good movie. Next up, we watched Summer Catch, and this I probably watched during the start of baseball season, so this has been a while. I'd never seen this. My wife enjoys it quite a bit, so we checked it out. So Freddie Prinze Jr. Is a lawn boy, and he had dreams of playing baseball, professional baseball, and he's kind of a hothead, but he's good. So this is like in a summer league, and he has the hots for Jessica Biel, and it's the Cape Cod League. Her family thinks romance with a blue collar guy is strictly a minor league, and so they do like each other and stuff. So it's just about them trying to figure everything out with baseball and their love life, and just quite a bit of fun, but not the greatest of films. I'll just give it a C. Next up, we watched Mr. Baseball, which was awesome. This does have a Blu-ray release, but it goes for a good $20. Stars Tom Selleck, who was like a really good baseball player in the film, and he's kind of reaching the end of his career, and he's been cut, so he ends up going to Japan to play in the Japan League, and he's just like an old school type of guy and doesn't want to do what they want him to do and that type of thing, and it's just him trying to learn the culture and what he's supposed to do. Just a lot of fun. I definitely recommend this one if you haven't seen it. I really had a lot of fun with it. I'll give it a B, and I might try to track down that Blu-ray. Yeah, so here's another baseball. So we were getting into baseball movies. So rewatched Moneyball, kind of the true life story of Billy Beane and the Oakland A's, and trying to use analytics and stats and stuff to field a good baseball team on a small budget. Just a crazy story, and it's really worked for them, and just a lot of fun. Really well done film. Really great baseball film. Like I said, there's so many good baseball films. So yeah, give this an A-. Next up, we watched Urban Cowboy with John Travolta. This one was a lot of fun. John Travolta's an urban cowboy, breaking hearts and busting mechanical bulls in one of his most electrifying film roles. By day, Bud Davis toils at a Texas oil refinery. At night, he trades his hard hat for a Stetson and heads to Gilley's, Houston's most popular nightclub. There he meets a pretty two-stepper named Sissy, who thinks Bud is a real cowboy. But Bud's got to prove it when a dangerous ex-con schemes to rob Gilley's and steal Sissy's heart. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed this one too, giving it a B. Next up, I'll do this one and then finish off with a bang. So next up, we watched Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. Stars Joaquin Phoenix, Jonah Hill, Rooney Mara, and Jack Black. Joaquin Phoenix is an alcoholic, and something happens where he ends up in a wheelchair. So yeah, it just kind of follows that story and how he kind of figures out what to do from there. And I don't know if I would say it. I had a lot of fun with this one, but it was a very good film, and I'll definitely probably keep it in the collection. I'll give it a B+, but yeah, definitely worth checking out though if you haven't seen it. It is a very, very good film. Then lastly, we watched John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell, directed by John Carpenter, like I said. Music by Carpenter as well, and just a kind of out there a little bit film, but just so good, so enjoyable. Kurt Russell plays Jack Burton. He's a truck driver whose life goes into a supernatural tailspin when his best friend's fiance is kidnapped. He suddenly finds himself in a murky, danger-filled world beneath San Francisco's Chinatown, where Lo Pan, a 2,000-year-old magician, mercilessly rules an empire of spirits. So just kind of a combination of different genres, and Kurt's character is so awesome, and this is just such a great movie. Giving it an A. So yeah, that's everything I've kind of watched probably in the last 8 months or something crazy around summertime. So here's a stack for the thumbnail. Hope you enjoyed these reviews. Definitely check out some of the A's and high B's scores that I gave. Those are definitely worth checking out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't yet done so, please make sure to subscribe. So this is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical media will never die.
Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Yeah!